Hello, everyone. Welcome to Our Hour. And today is story time part 2.
Woo!
Ooh. Yeah.
Anyone? Yeah, boy. Oh, putting some hype in those hype stories.
Yeah. God, I feel like I'm just going to end up retelling all my stories from last episode. I'm a pretty uninteresting human being, all things considered.
Dang, that's rough.
Yeah.
You can tell a recent story.
Nah.
Well, I can. I got one.
Nah.
That's okay. I'll just stick.
You can
Alex,
just leave.
Go first with
You're
that
good to go,
story
Alex.
while we
Just-
brainstorm.
Easy.
All right, go ahead.
So I was going to Soren's house in Grand Island where his dad lived. That was wrong. Why am I retarded?
I'm glad we're off to a good start.
I don't want to talk anymore.
Fuck. What do we got for stories, boys?
Well, if we look at the same note card we had last time,
Oh yeah.
has 3 things we did
Tell
not
us
talk about.
Tell a Soren story. Tell a Soren story. Please, before I have to speak more.
Which ones did we say
Listen,
last
me and
time?
Alex don't talk. It's you all this episode.
That's gonna be rough. My voice is gonna be destroyed. What's a good one? They do the boop, which is technically Jim and Soren. So this is a Jim story. This was like, was this 7th or 8th grade? I can't.
8th grade, because that's the one we had all 3 together.
Yeah, because 6th grade I had Jim with Soren, but you weren't there. And then 7th grade, I don't even remember that.
I
don't even think there was a
Middle school isn't real. It was
middle
a big
school.
old
Did
fucking.
you have PE in 7th grade, or was it like health class and stuff?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't
middle
keep.
school.
Like I said,
I'm pretty sure it was 7th grade. We
Yeah.
still had PE,
Was
like all
it?
3 of them.
Yeah.
I feel like when
Unless
kids are
maybe
that
6th
young,
grade
you have to
PE.
force them to do PE.
Yeah.
I have an awful PE story.
Oh.
After this one, I'll let you do that.
I don't want to speak.
Nah, you're good.
About
I'll give you
myself
time
and
to
my
think about it
locations.
before you actually.
I
say
obviously have the inability to formulate like sentences here, so I'm done.
Okay, so with Soren, it was weird. So at the beginning of gym, he being the PE teacher, he makes you walk around the gym just in a square.
I also do stretches.
Yeah, no, I'm talking before we even do that. It's like when people are still filling in.
Oh
the room.
yeah,
yeah.
so like the
You like
pre-class
walk
bull
around
crap,
and
yeah.
stuff, yeah. And I believe we were in the bigger one. I think it was the bigger gym because there were 2. There was like the big one, and then there's a hallway to the smaller one. You know what I'm
Right.
talking about? Yeah, I think it was the bigger one we were in.
God, I don't remember the layout of the middle school.
I do.
I
think.
do, sadly.
So we do that, and then it's like halfway through or something. I don't know why Soren did this. I don't think we told him to. As far as I remember, I don't believe we told him to. But he walked up to the teacher, who's like, he didn't like us.
He
To
already
be-
didn't
to be
like
short
us,
with
and this
it,
was, like,
yeah.
halfway through the year or something.
Yeah.
This is a good way in. And Soren just walked up to him in the most casual way and just poked his nose and goes, boop. And then he just walked off. And then he calls him back. He's like, Soren, what are you doing? It's like,
How would you like?
I don't
if
know.
booped your
yeah, that's
nose?
what he said. He's like, how did you feel if I come up to you while you're doing your job and I boop you on the nose? I forget what Soren
I'm
said.
in middle school. I don't have a
I
job.
think it was along the lines of like, I think Soren's just like, I don't know. And then it's like, alright, keep walking. It's something like that, but it was just another one of those things we would do to slowly push his buttons.
Push his nose.
Yeah.
We moved on from that point. We were
Oh,
pushing his
God.
buttons back then, and then Soren decided to take it a step further and push his nose.
When you kicked him in the back of the head with the ball.
Oh, yeah, we were walking. We were still doing the stupid walking around. Like, this is a different day.
We didn't
They
like
had
it.
balls. Yeah, so this walking around thing happened every day. But this day, they had dodgeballs and soccer balls on the floor for some reason.
Oh God.
And I don't know why my brain told me to kick a ball.
It's just how the brain works.
Yeah, it was just like, yo, Bean Boy, kick the ball. And I was like, okay, Bean Brain, let's do it. And so I kicked the ball as hard as I could. and it just nails him in the back of the head.
And he's like walking off to go talk to the other teacher because there's two, and it just like his head just like moves forward.
Were you able to like casually like walk that off, or were you just like
to start with? He was casual. I remember this, and then we got past him, and then
he's like,
Jimmy,
"Hey, Alex."
He's like,
"Hey, Alex." And I was like, "Yeah." Like, "Did you kick that ball?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Let's be more careful, okay?" And I was like, "Okay."
I got a good one related to that. This is one of the reasons I hate gym classes. I like if I'm ever trying to like actually participate, I get ignored. But if I walk in there, I have it. Oh god! I inadvertently get my shit kicked. So one time I was a little late to gym class because one of the teachers had wanted to speak to me or something. I had a card. Yeah. I walk in there and they're doing soccer and they had like the things down. They had these big old like sheets basically. They drop down to separate the sections of the gym.
Yeah.
And I walked in there and I go slightly to the left.
Is this in
high school? Yeah, this is high school instead. I walk in there and I like go to the field to the left because I see the teacher in there. And I walk in. First thing that happens. Riker fucking hard kicks a ball. It comes flying towards me and slams me right in the goddamn nuts. Like literally straight shot. And I just like sit there. I like lean over on the wall and I'm just like, oh.
Didn't he play soccer? Isn't that a thing?
Yeah, he's like fit and healthy.
Knows how to kick a ball.
And knows how to kick a ball right into my balls.
My nuts.
And he just comes over and he's like, I'm sorry? And I'm like, nah, man, I might. Could you do me a favor and kill me?
Don't look at me.
Don't look at me. Oh. But yeah, and I don't know, gym class went pretty normal after that, but I just, like, every time I, like, don't want to get my shit kicked in gym, that's when I inadvertently just get nailed by everything. Like, one time I didn't have, like, my gym clothes and they wouldn't let you, like, participate.
That's so dumb.
But yeah, which is real dumb. I was wearing, like, jeans or something, so something that's still, you know, usable.
You can still,
it's not like I'm wearing, like...
It's not like you're doing...
jorts.
You can turn them into jorts real good.
It's not like you were wearing a skirt and didn't have your panties on or something.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, like...
That's how I play soccer.
How else are you gonna get the airflow, bro?
So you don't want to be sitting in ball soup, eh?
Oh.
But yeah, like,
no, man,
and I was sitting there in the corner.
With nut cups, you'll be sitting in ball soup anyway.
I was sitting there.
It's a crock pot, bro. You're stewing. You're stewing. You're stewing.
Yikes! Testicle stew. Here we go. Yum yum.
Oh,
no.
You're like bull nuts.
And that's when people leave.
Yeah, that's when our whole audience just leaves, and by audience I mean who. But yeah, like one time I was just sitting there against the wall. They wouldn't let you use your phone, so you had to be sneaky if you were. But I wasn't. I was just kind of watching everyone else play. Mm-hmm. And they're playing soccer again because this is like the day after the other incident.
Because they love
and
soccer.
Someone kicks a ball and it nails me right in the forehead, and I bounce my head off the brick wall that's right behind me, or the concrete wall right behind me.
Those are so bad.
And I'm just like, and I just like sigh and sit there and just like,
I hate everyone.
And the teacher just like looked at me. He didn't want to show it, but I saw as he turned away, he was smiling, and I was just like, "You dick." And I was just sitting there. I don't fucking know.
I think he was the only teacher for high school.
No clue. Not an absolute slightest idea.
Well, we only did like
Creech
2 years of it.
Yeah, Creech was also a health teacher in middle school, though.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Which is a little strange.
That was funny because he used to curse in class, and I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
I thought he was the cool guy.
He is.
Yeah.
I think Lance will
pretty
always
neat.
be the cool guy.
A name like that, you can't not be cool. It's not an option.
I knew Mr. Creech before I knew of Mr.
Dude, we
Creech.
in elementary
I had
school.
Mrs. Creech in elementary school, and she was the bomb teacher as well.
She was. I remember, like, that whole family just has always been in my memory. I don't remember a day without them. Does that make sense?
And I don't even personally know them.
I don't either. I've been to the house like once, I think. That was like a long time ago, though.
A story about soccer. I've got a story about soccer.
Okay.
Soccer
I actually enjoyed soccer back in middle school. So whenever we'd play it, I'd be like, "This is my stuff. I was born for this." My dad actually did do a bunch of lecturing with me about soccer. We'd go out in into a soccer field at a park, and he'd tell me how to dribble and how to pass and where you should run when the ball's being passed to you.
That's pretty cool.
like where to keep my eye when I'm playing and how I shouldn't be looking down at the ball if I'm dribbling because that's just how I'm gonna get trucked, even though it's soccer and you don't. But anyways,
he thinks that middle schoolers
soccer.
Play like the fucking professional teams. They're just gonna like shoulder check you through the goddamn floor.
I got a story for later. I'll let you finish.
But like I actually knew how to play soccer, or at least like I thought I did. I was still getting my lessons. Mm-hmm. And so here I am playing, I'm like going ham, and then Trev is on the enemy team, and for some reason he like dives for the ball. We're like midfield, not even a goalie position, you don't dive for the ball here. And I step on his hand, and he's like pissed at me for the rest of the year because I broke his hand. Like not even kidding, I broke his finger or something. And he's just angry with me because I stepped on it because he dove in a position he shouldn't have dove in. Dumbass, you're not goalie.
God, I got so many cringy sports stories to tell. I used to play a lot of baseball. Of baseball. We're on sports at the moment.
I've never gotten into baseball.
I used to actually be okay at baseball. You know, I wasn't okay. I could reliably get to first base.
You didn't bring the team down. Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't be the guy to get the third out, basically. Most of the time. There were occasions. So, good one I've told to a lot of people. Chase. Hepner?
Okay. Yeah.
Big kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty big guy. Always has been.
I think I'm taller than him, actually.
He can pitch a ball at about 7,000 miles an hour.
Just incinerates a punch.
Yeah. So I'm up to bat. I see him. He's at pitch. I'm up to bat, and I'm like, okay, so I know this is gonna be some pretty fastball. Like he's gonna be going ham, and that's how his coach trained him, is just to hawk that thing with all his strength. Not in this case, because he never taught him how to aim.
Oh my god, it was just all power.
He guns it right towards my crotch. And I'm talking, this ball is moving at like light speeds. And so basically I would be infertile this day. Luckily I used to have a reaction time. Nowadays you could like stab me and I'd be like 10 minutes. I'd be like, wait a minute. But yeah, so luckily I turn around, catches me right in the left cheek, can't sit down for like a week because it bruises the shit out of that. Yeah. I get a walk to base, luckily, but that's the story about baseball almost made me infertile, and I was still in like kiddie leagues.
Dude, you beat Chase. Easy.
No, he beat the shit out of me with a baseball.
Sports. When it comes to gym sports, bro, you said trucking earlier. This reminded me. You know how we play hockey? We had like those sticks with like. Oh God. You know how we do that?
Yeah.
I remember. I love playing that because I'm bigger than most people, bro.
People used to batter the shit out of my shins.
Yeah. I was one of those people.
Give me the puck.
I got really good. I got really like into it. I just I just run into people and like overpower them, just sheer size.
You just like drop your stick, you like wrestle them to the ground, start beating the shit out of them.
Hockey's hockey, bro.
Yeah, you gotta play it like the sport is played.
What the fuck? You said my mom's gay, bro.
You slam them against one of the concrete walls.
Middle schooler insult.
No!
Your mom's
throw down the fucking stick.
It's not true. She's married to a man.
That means your dad, woman.
No. But it was me and Gabe Martinez. I was going up to this big boy, and we hit sticks together, and it kind of sat there for like half a second, and I slid mine up, and like. Took his out, and all of his mass was pushed into it towards the ground, and he just like did like a little somersault onto the ground. I had to go sit in the hall for like 15 minutes.
They put him in the penalty box.
Speaking of Gabe,
yelled at me.
I have a lot of good stories with Gabe. First of all, he was in my last year of drafting
Gabe's
class
so
at high school.
Yeah.
So that was always good entertainment. Like that time, I used to have a multi-tool on my lanyard.
Yeah.
And one of them was a pliers. There's but there's a plier, like pair of pliers on there.
Yeah.
Right.
I know what a multi-tool is.
Little one.
Yeah.
And Trev one day looks over at Gabe. He says, "I'll give you $10 if you rip one of your teeth out with that." And Gabe goes, "Bet." And he starts going at it. And he actually gives it a good go, but then he realizes it hurt a lot to rip it out, and he's like, "I'm not going to do that."
Yeah, it would hurt a lot.
But he concerned us all because we were like, "We're not actually going to pay you, you know." And he's like, "Yeah, but I said I'd do it." So he went at it for a little while, but
yeah, I would never.
Man, back in middle school, I used to be in choir with him.
That's right.
I think I had a year of it in high school. I don't remember if he was there though, but like one time, so we were like the only 2 people that could do like really high pitched ones, and mind you, I was like completely I was completely tripping in middle school.
Define that. What do you mean by that?
I was on a lot of prescriptions for several different mental disorders.
But here we are.
Yeah, but here we are. I swear I am emotionally stable. No,
I'm not.
But yeah, so he was supposed to be the other guy. He was supposed to be the other guy that did like the high part for, and we were doing Silver Trumpet or whatever that song is called.
Yeah, that classic boy.
And he just like bailed on me, so I was the only kid that did the high part.
Oh,
I did it really good.
There?
Luckily, everybody, like the teacher, a bunch of people came up. Yeah, he was there. He just bailed on it. He was like, I didn't. He came to me after. He's like, I didn't do the high part.
So it was just you.
Yeah, and the teacher came up and complimented me. Several of the audience came up and complimented me. So I guess I did good. Well, maybe it's because I'm in middle school and they're probably like, that poor bastard.
We gotta give him something.
Yeah, we gotta make him not fucking toaster bath neck rope backflip off of fucking.
Bleeding ears.
Man, I used to not pay attention. To get back onto sports, I used to not pay attention a lot in baseball. So I was that kid that they'd stick in the outfield.
I don't pay attention a lot.
And I'd sit there and like pull up grass and not pay attention.
You were that guy.
Yeah, and I was sitting there, put my glove over my face, being like, "Ooh, it's like a mask." No, God, I hate little me. I want to beat the fuck out of him. Yeah,
I was born in it.
You merely adopted the glove.
I was born in it.
No.
Moaning.
But yeah, so one time I was like doing practice swings, which are like when you're next up to bat, they'll stick you just outside of the dugout and you'll do like some practice swings, which is always really nice. You know, it warms up the muscles, and very cathartic actually.
I bet it is.
One time I wasn't paying attention to how hard I was holding my bat, and I chucked it halfway across the field. Like, luckily it was behind me into the foul area and not into like the field of play. But everybody, like, it went because it was like an aluminum bag, and it made like a bunch of like noises as it hit the ground. Everybody stops, look at me, and I just go.
It wasn't me.
And I'm just sitting there with no bat, and everybody's looking at me, and I'm just smiling, staring up in the distance.
The bat came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that thing fucking. Where'd that come from? Where's my bat?
Neil, where's your bat?
That's your bat back there, Neil. Because we all had to bring our own bats. And like, no, that's not mine. Mine's a slightly different shade of red.
It says, if found, please return to Neil Shepherd.
That's a different
Neil
Neil
here
Shepherd.
On the handle.
It probably said something just like how we mark our stuff, because like we'll go to the lake or something and we'll bring coolers. So to mark them, we normally just put Shepherd on it.
Nice. Because
there really isn't that many Shepherds in the fucking 800-mile radius around Hastings, Nebraska. It's surprisingly unique as a last name. Not like unique in any way.
I would say mine's fairly unique.
But
for Nebraska.
For this area, actually having a lot of German heritage, and thus you see a lot of very similar last names. Also German. Yeah, same, bro.
If you can tell by my last name of Brockman.
Brock's
Two
man.
wins.
You're not the son of Brock. You're Brock's man.
Yeah. Brock from Pokemon. That boy can't see
I always
anything.
wish I had like a really powerful last name. Sometimes like Smith.
I don't want Smith. That's way too common.
Yeah, it's pretty common, but yeah, I think you were a Smith back in the day.
Yeah, mine's probably something stupid that I don't want.
You're Brock's man.
I'll just feel bad about myself.
There's this dude named Brock, pretty chill dude. You're his man. Brock ever comes around.
Double letters for the win. Double L, double N.
Double E.
I know what you said, and I got it. It was just the way you said it.
It was Yanni.
Double E. Reese.
Reese.
I love when people pronounce it like that.
Reese's.
Where they look at they like.
What if somebody said King?
R?
What if they were like Alex King?
It's basically
they know.
But if you take away the R, it's eyes. So sometimes people pronounce it rise. It's like that's something else. That is like
Alex Rise, and you just like hover into the air.
Oh. Yeah, that'd work out perfectly. Alex Jesus, please rise.
Oh, grow out my head.
Oh, we're coming back.
Crown.
You know, my first name is my dad's middle name, and my middle name is my grandpa's first name.
Really?
Yeah.
My middle name has nothing to do with anything.
What is it?
Rowan.
That's a pretty good one, though.
It's like...
That's like a type of tree.
Yeah.
It's also
Rowan
Mr.
Oak.
Bean.
Yeah, Rowan Atkinson. I think it's also supposed to be like some form of combination of Ron and Ann. I think it's also something like that.
That makes sense.
But it's like, they didn't just want to combine it with the random letter. They wanted to actually have
So they're like, you're actually tree.
I'm okay with that. Pretty tall.
Rowan's are pretty neat trees, too.
What,
Like,
are they?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
No!
This name comes from nowhere.
God, we got in the topic of names. We had stories to tell?
Helmut.
Oh, those boys.
Yeah, it's a tree, bud.
Yeah. Well, like, okay, trees are different.
Yeah.
Other trees. So
Yeah, but trees are also just trees.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is now just Alex and Neil on the podcast. Max has decided to die. There he goes.
So back in middle
Stretching
school.
my back.
Oh, this is always a good story.
Middle school stories are great.
Back in middle school, I existed. Oh no, it's a horror story
based on true events.
The first day I came back from Lincoln and I had PE, like the first PE class I had. I go in there, and there was this girl. She tried to make conversation with me. I was like, "No, you're weird. Get away from me!" And I ran away.
Hawk detected.
Alex, you blew it.
I did.
Don't worry, you got a thick titty anime girl waiting for you somewhere.
Hear me roar. Oh yeah.
So did I tell the story with Cameron? Did I tell that in episode 0?
I don't know if you did or not. I think you did.
I think it was.
Okay,
yeah.
then I can tell it again because that episode doesn't exist.
Yeah, what's 0?
Yeah,
Why
is
would
that?
anybody start counting with 0?
Yeah,
we should
yeah.
rename it to episode and then lowercase I, imaginary number.
Look
Don't
at the
actually
big
do
brain
that,
on Brett over here.
Brett?
Yeah, you're
I'm
Brett
still-
now.
I'm Brett.
in math
Bret
classes and all.
Brett King.
Brett King.
Brett Jesus King. Holy.
That's a Chad name.
Dude, that is a Kanye name. I've never heard one. Jesus is King. I've got Jesus and King in my name, bro. Brett
King of
Jesus
Kings.
King.
Wasn't Jesus known to be the King of Kings? Wasn't that like an actual thing?
Isn't that like a God thing though?
Yeah.
That's like the holy.
But
Holy
it's like
Trinity
he's
deal.
also kind of God, but he's also not. I don't
Yeah,
know,
the Holy
man.
Trinity's a fucking
I went
mess.
to church enough when I was little. It's all in there somewhere.
Yeah, you just gotta dig it up. But
yeah.
fucking okay, then I'll tell that story. So one day, you know, we're getting in the locker rooms, we're getting all changed back to our normal clothes. Gym is over.
Stop.
I'm over there.
Please.
Nah,
don't.
normally it was just like down to your
I don't wanna
undies,
picture that.
and that's all you got.
Back here.
I'm sorry
True.
to disappoint you, Alex.
Well, I was all the way back here. It probably didn't even pick up what I said anyways.
Yeah, well, good enough. But
Nothing happened.
so I did like end up getting dressed, and you know some kids need to reapply deodorant every 5 seconds because it's middle school, and they spray that shit down the hallways, and they put it on every
God.
5 seconds, which I guess it's better to
Who
be
was
too
it?
safe.
Quick side note. Who was it? They like it was
Ran down the hallway with 2
yeah,
cans of
and
that,
one of the
spraying
teacher
it.
was like allergic to it or something.
Yeah,
That was I forget who it was, but that was stupid.
yeah,
I shit you not. I think it was Hunter.
probably.
I'm not.
That's
even
the
kidding.
story we need
You're
to
gonna
tell.
get
The
it.
lunchroom high school story with Hunter. That's the next one. But anyway, so we're all dressed.
Both
And
you.
some kid asked for the deodorant over the aisle, and some other kid's like, okay, and he tosses it over. Hits Cameron in the head. And so he
I don't
comes
like
around the
Cameron.
corner, all angry around the corner, and he looks at me, he's like, did you throw that? And I said, no. And he's like, you fucking threw that. And he grabs my head and he bashes it against the fucking tile, like, and breaks the
Yeah.
fucking thing. And and I'm like, so middle schooler, so I start crying. And I go out and I like tell Mr. Combs, and he just seems very, like, sort of, I don't know, how do you, like,
annoyed?
yeah, like annoyed at the fact that I brought my problem to him. You know, like, that's a good gym story because
Mr. Combs, Cameron slammed my head into the tile.
And broke
You're gonna
it.
tell me?
what the fuck is wrong with you?
What am I supposed to do?
What do you want me to do? Just
You damaged my nice. Wait, you damaged my nice tile. I'm gonna kick your shit, kid. No.
wait. Which tile? You go show him. That is my tile. Boom, boom, boom. Into a
Now it's
different
gone.
tile.
Gunning my head into it. Man, on the other side there was a mirror though.
Yeah, I know.
So if he would have bashed my head into that, I would have just probably died in a glass right through the skull. Good times.
He would have been in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, that was probably a pretty expensive piece of glass because that was like a non-smudge mirror too.
Yeah,
because
I know what you're
middle
talking
schoolers are always like put my hands on everything, but also nothing. It's weird. God, I hate middle school.
Middle school sucks.
But
middle
yes,
school is all the awkward years that nobody likes to remember.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad I don't remember 99.9% of middle school.
I remember.
Do drugs. That'll fix it.
Every now and then, times from middle school come back to me, and I'm disgusted.
Yeah. On occasion, that happens with
like myself, my 1 year ago self up.
Yesterday's self
story.
Yeah, the Hunter story from the lunchroom. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I can't remember what he says though.
I'm gonna get you.
Oh yeah.
So would you like to lead this, please?
We're just sitting there eating lunch in the cafeteria at high school, and we're kind of like
Was
minding our
Trevor
own
there?
business. No, it was Neil, Ian, Eric, Jack, and I. Was that it?
And then was Angel there at that point, or was he gone by then?
I don't know.
I know I wasn't there.
Yeah, you weren't there.
But it was at least those 5.
Yeah.
And we're all just like minding our own business, talking. You know, it's the cafeteria, so everybody's shouting, and it's loud, and making jokes, and you're eating at the same time. And then, at some point in time, Hunter Miller walks into the cafeteria, and we're still just minding our own business. And then everybody in the cafeteria hears at the top of his lungs, "I'm gonna get you!"
And he fucking reaches into his coat
as if he's grabbing a gun.
And
the entire cafeteria goes silent like sponge guards, you know, ready to move, ready to dip, ready to not die.
Yeah.
And then he pulls out a bottle.
And it's like one of those ice bottles too, or whatever that flavor drink. Yeah, it's empty. Yeah, everybody fucking like shit their pants collectively.
Yeah. Just, I'm gonna get
you. And they reach. Yeah, I remember I was halfway out of my seat, and like you were like sitting there like getting ready to move, like we were all ready to get out. Yeah, that was a scary day, and it was so dumb because of what he pulled out.
Like, when it happened, it was terrifying, and then like the second it passed, is like,
forgot this guy was stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
It would have been Andrew Carey.
Death.
So
you have chosen death.
God damn. Yeah, no, that was a bad one. That was a bad day.
I don't even know if I was there that day or what was going on. I
remember that time. I don't know. I don't think we were like really like at lunch very much at this point because it was like junior year or so. But one of the fucking fat ass, like I think it was Globosphere.
My favorite name we've ever given anybody.
It's this really short, really fat kid, and we call him the Globosphere because
like
we're bullies.
You can get sucked into his gravitational pull if you get too close. It's dangerous.
He's morbidly obese. Like he isn't fat.
It's
he is
not
morbidly
good.
obese. It's like unhealthy.
He's all of 3 people, but he's also like 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does
I
it.
talked to a kid once, and then when I got closer, the kid disappeared, and I felt the gravitational pull.
I gotta get out of here.
My time has come, Mama.
But yeah,
let's go.
So that fucker, I shit you not, went outside to like the benches outside, which they let like the kids go outside sometimes, which was really nice.
That's right. Nice. And we blew it.
No, he went out there and broke one of the goddamn benches with his fat ass.
How do you break a bench?
He broke the bench.
Oh, another.
And so Slanda for the rest of like our time there as students, even though it wasn't our fault, the rest of our time we couldn't go out there, and their class was only punished for 1 year.
I think that was the last year I think that was like sophomore year or something though. So that was like the last time we were in the cafeteria.
Yeah,
anyways.
True.
Yeah.
Well, I would have gone to the cafeteria more often if it weren't for that fact. I'd go sit outside or something and not socialize with anyone other than.
So that little outside area, I have a story about that. You were there, and so was Brady.
Was it like
I think Caleb might have been there. It was like in that area when they'd play football over there. You remember those little like side steps going down?
Mm-hmm.
We're jumping up those. Do you remember that at all?
It's so vague, but I can remember.
Yeah, we were like just seeing how many we could get up, and I think we were getting to like there's probably like 10 steps, and we were getting to like 7, 8, something like that. And then you're like, guys, I'll just go for all of them. And you walked back and you just ran like lightning speed. It's that Jesus power, bro. I swear.
He's walking
The
on
King
water.
of Kings.
Turn that poop into
No.
wine. Turn that poop.
You just like.
Quoting Eric Andre.
I didn't even look like you jumped. You just like hovered up all of them. Like I swear,
You just like
no, you got up all of them. It just looked like you hovered. It
It's
looked
like
so
a fucking,
effortless.
It's like a fucking Super Mario 64
It
tool
was.
assisted speedrun bullshit where it's just like and he's
Oh,
up
I
the
know what you're
stairs.
saying
That's
when
what
they
it
do like
looks
the
like.
backwards
Or
thing.
just
They're like, and they're up the steps and they're like,
And they glitch through a fucking wall as they're doing it as well. Yeah, like that shit, except just you walking up at lightning speeds and you just boom.
That's what it looked like, bro. I just like
Yahoo!
there was like no
Oh,
build up on the jump.
Fuck, I moved the mic slightly. God, we're all done for.
Oh, no.
Yahoo!
Yeah, you just whoo, and you're just in space.
I think after that I was like, nah, I'm good.
I don't remember doing that.
No, I remember specifically you doing it because nobody else did it.
I don't remember running in high school ever. Like
Unless it's
it
like
was
gym
the
class.
mile.
Unless it was
Nah,
going-
not even gym, just for the mile or lunch, and we had to make it back to class.
That's what I was gonna say.
Or you were actually gonna try on the pacer, which never happened.
No,
I didn't do that.
I always just,
Actually, I did.
You know what I
once.
did on
Hit
the
the
pacer?
fitness standard,
every single
yeah.
time, and it would annoy the teachers. But I was like, I'm not wasting energy.
I remember one
Stupid.
time,
I don't want to be sweaty.
one of the Trebs who was really fit,
I hate.
he was like going hardcore on it, and at the end of it, he like walked away and threw up. And I'm like,
Yeah.
there's no reason to try that hard in the
You know what
fucking
I hate,
mile.
bro? PE like try hard kids.
Yeah.
It's like when they don't do sports, especially. Like if you're in sports, I guess it's fine because it's like technically conditioning for you almost. But like,
There's a little
and you
bit
should
of
be able
practice
to.
and
But
some
like the
moves.
kids who don't do anything, and then they're just like,
I
I'm
feel
gonna
like even
flex on these boys.
I feel like even then, like the people that do play sports and they're tryharding in PE, that's like if you're playing a video game that you're the fucking best at,
when you're still trying.
and you
the
play with
hardest.
some people that are you just smurf. They're smurfing.
Yeah.
They're smurfing, dude. What the fuck? I've only ever tried in PE once, and that was in the pacer, like sophomore or junior year or something. But I wanted to do cross country.
Yeah.
And my goal was to see if I could match the other cross-country kids. I quit after a while because Mr. Creech was cheering on all the cross-country kids and not me.
Well, that's why they try so
Bruh.
hard in gym, is because they're prep kids, and prep kids thirst for like praise from like
Teachers, anybody.
peers and above. Like they thirst hard for that shit, and so that's why they'll go like hardcore, because then like the teacher will give them a pat on the back and say they did a good job, and they'll tell their coach, if they aren't their coach, that you know they did a really good job.
See, I only ever did good things to get teacher praise so that I could do bad things and they wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Like I could not do homework and they'd be like, he's smart enough, it's fine.
That's
Yeah.
literally high school.
Yeah.
Like I never really like thirsted for praise. I just did
Oh,
whatever. I just did what I
I
had to
thirsted
do.
for Hair G's praise.
That- yeah,
Yeah,
praise,
that's
bro.
where I tried hard, was in like German or something, and I didn't try as hard as I could have in German. But that was the only class where if I was doing bad, I was like, I gotta fix something now. Like I got like a D in math. Ah, that's perfect, just where I need to be.
Pass.
Yeah. But let me tell you, had a B minus in German. We gotta
B
fix
plus
something
in
now.
German.
Had an A in German, not an A+.
Am I even? I can't even like speak English at that point. I'm not worthy
At that point,
of
you're
speaking German.
mentally retarded. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't A throughout all.
I always
German.
really appreciate
So easy.
how Hergy would throw
for
in.
homework last year and senior year. I stopped doing German homework. So I
We were supposed to do a group presentation, and Brandon and I didn't do it, and that was the only thing that brought our grade down. But it was like we still had like 97s, I think.
Damn.
Pretty easy.
But I always appreciated how Hergy would occasionally throw in like a really hard question, not on like the quizzes or anything, but on like one of the group
fun.
activities, just so that he could like
Flex.
make sure the smart kids were still smart.
So Alex.
Yeah, basically Alex.
Man, let's see if Alex gets this one.
Yeah.
I don't care about anybody
On all the
else.
tests, there was always the Zum Spaß stuff that I
Challenge
would guess
question?
Yeah, they're for fun questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I normally got
I
those
never did
correct.
those.
Those normally saved my
Those are
quiz
really
grade because I
cool.
got all the shit I was supposed to get correct wrong, and then that thing I figured out somehow.
I never did the. I just stopped. I was
German
like,
one.
I already got
German
it.
Zum
one.
Spaß stuff
I'm not
was
saying
one
it
of
was
my favorite
hard.
things.
I'm just saying it was easy.
Those are like the best things on quizzes, I guess they were, because they were just like the half
Well,
sheets.
sometimes he'd leave a little open-endedness to him, so you could make your own little story, and it'd always be something really fucking dumb because it's me. And he'd always look at it very disappointedly, but also be like, he's not wrong.
Zum Spaß. Please explain Waldeinsamkeit. Well, you see. This is like one of my favorite German words, though, because of the way it's translated. It can be translated in a bunch of different ways. But it literally means, like, solitude throughout the forest, kind of. And so it's like when you go on a forest walk and you're just, like, enjoying your own solace.
I did that the other day.
Just, like, taking in nature, like, having a good time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I probably wrote something like dicking around in the woods. Or the equivalent vulgarity of.
I had a nature walk at my grandma's farm the other day. That was pretty cool because there was a bunch of snow.
Man, I ever tell you about how, like, for some reason, at least at the specific school like that I went to in Germany, all the kids were perfectly allowed to cuss in English. Like, they did it in front of their teachers, and the teachers didn't seem to give a damn.
Oh my god, you cussing in German in chemistry?
Oh, well, I mean, like, it wasn't even...
That was funny.
So, okay, so Scheiße means shit, obviously, but technically speaking, if you take off the E and just make it Scheiß, it's a lot more, like...
It's like crap,
calmer.
kinda.
It can mean shit still, but it's more like crap.
It's treated that way.
You can say mist. Mist is technically crap, like manure. But...
Morning mist.
But at the same point in time, the only
morning
reason Scheiß really means shit still is because you can shorten Scheiße to Scheiß, because in German you can take off E's sometimes. So you can say like, Scheiß doch mal. Or you can just say Scheiße doch.
Yeah, that's probably why I was really confused when my family spoke, because they probably, adequately used those shortcuts as someone who would speak that language as their primary language.
Well, I mean,
would.
like, the most confusing
and I didn't know about
shortcut
them.
you can do is, like, one of the really important things you need to learn is the difference between, like, ein, einen, and einem, and, like, all those. But in German, you can take off the E between the N and the N in einen, so it sounds the same as ein again.
Oh, no.
Like, give me ein Apfel bitte. It's like, you're supposed to say give me einen Apfel bitte, but you can get away with saying give me ein Apfel bitte.
Yeah, that one I knew about.
Yeah.
That one I
that
used
one's gay in my opinion.
when
like
getting like my Berliners and stuff, because every morning before school I'd walk to the main square where the Ulmer Münster is, and they have little, smaller shops are a lot more common there. And they had like a little pastry shop, and I'd always get a Berliner. And it was enjoyable. It was good having a nice, healthy, like, morning routine. Because I do a bunch of walking, get, like, an unhealthy pastry, and then do a bunch more walking.
Morning routine. I just wake up and it's, like, lazy every day.
I wake up, if I have time for a shower, I take one. If I don't, I go to class.
I always make sure I shower before anything else in the morning. I have to. I can't do anything else until I shower.
Yeah, no, and if I go to school without a shower, my brain operates at, like, 0.5 trillionth of, like, a percent of a... Like, dude, decimal.
If I wake up and, like, my brother or mom is in the shower, I'm just pissed. I'm like, why am I even awake right now?
Why? You just kick in the door? Now? You choose now to take a shower?
Now,
this is my time!
Of all times. Do you not Your brain is so tiny! Like, do you not get that this is my time? Look on the clock, my time. Get out of the shower. I don't care if you're naked and I'm standing right here. Get out of the shower now.
And if your homies are over, it's our hour for the shower.
Oh,
I rhymed.
Can we get an on location hour in the shower?
Which shower?
My shower. The shower.
Upstairs shower. Hour in the bath.
Doesn't quite roll off the tongue, but
really
Hour eating some snacks while in a bath and taking a shower.
I thought you were going to say something about
flowers.
I was about to say taking a shat. Just like sitting in the bath. Just... Ooh, I made my own little floaty boat thing. I don't need the little kids'
I don't
toys.
need this duck anymore.
You got the log. I got the rolling log. You use your fingers like legs and you're rolling around on. Oh god.
Bro?
What are we talking about?
I want to end my existence every day.
Oh my god. That went so bad.
What were we talking about before this?
Let's just transition
we were
to somewhere
talking about
else.
Lunch stories,
Neil,
and then
Neil, I want you to try to guess the
no
translation of this word. It's a funny word.
So the fun thing about German.
Yeah. It's a long
Smoothest
word.
segue.
No.
Tell me when you're ready.
Alright.
Toilettenbürsten Benutzungsanweisung.
Something about toilet.
Oh yeah.
I would assume since we were talking about.
I didn't pay attention past toilet.
Was that like the
Let's
first
go
thing you
again.
said?
Yeah, toilette. Toilettenbürsten Benutzungsanweisung.
That toilet explodes when you shit in it or something. I don't know. A German
You explode
one right
the
here,
shitter?
boys.
No. I'll let you know the hardest word there is probably Burstung, which is a brush.
I was way off. Thought I meant
So-
explode.
Toilet brush. Okay.
Oh no! Is it like toilet brush up your ass? Something like that?
No.
I've hit my max.
Really?
I'm always at
If
my
I had
max,
more
bro.
time, I would probably think it out more, but
I'm always
I don't
max.
I got coding homework. I need to be in coding brain, not German brain.
It means toilet brush usage instructions.
I was close.
Things we didn't understand at the hostel when we blew up that poor toilet.
Ooh.
Oh, God bless, what's his name? I could open up the old German journal that Herr G had us write and figure out what his name was. But the guy who owned the
German
hostel.
students didn't even do that, like when they went.
I don't know.
All of them except Neil.
Like, Hayden was like, I keep like a journal sometimes anyway, so this isn't a big
Easy
deal.
for him.
And then for me, I continued keeping a journal
I've
after
thought
that.
about journaling.
Just to keep track of my days. I often do them actually with this mic now. I often do audio journals because I get lazy and don't write. Also, it's sometimes hard to express certain like concepts without inflection of voice.
Yeah.
And like there is ways to do it, of course, in literature, but it requires a lot of sentences that I'd rather fucking not.
Just write in bold.
Oh.
You okay there, Mac?
Oh, stretch it.
Alright, so we were at Stories at some point, and then we went on this big tangent.
Should we go to Soren's stories? Soren's house stories?
Do we got any more good gym stories?
Oh, we got 360, but I don't know if we should say that or not. God.
Remember when Naruto running was a thing in middle school?
I know.
It was like Andrew
People
did
were
that
doing
once.
that on like the track and stuff.
Yeah, and they'd be like walking or maybe
God, the
jogging
middle
at a
school track
standard
is
pace.
Garbage.
And they'd be like,
It's like
look,
gravel.
it makes me go faster. And then they'd start running at full speed, actually. And they'd like, see, it makes you go faster. And I'd just be sitting there being like, weeb.
Remember when Eric Schaefer would run and make car noises while he ran?
Oh.
Thought it made him faster. Yeah, he'd do that sound when he passed people.
God, I remember that thing we used to do at the desk in German, not we, but me and Trevor used to do at the desk in German. We'd be sitting there in the back, and we'd, like, pull on the left side like it's like a shift stick.
I
and
know
we'd,
about
like,
this.
and we'd, like, lift up the desk and start, like, vibrating it around.
I remember that from
This is in high
math.
school.
Yeah, this is in high school.
Trevor did that in math once. It was like the same exact thing, except he actually started like moving the desk forward.
Yeah, that was like the final tier of it. We couldn't get away with Herr G because he'd always be sitting like angular to the door. So if we were in the back of the class, you know, we could like do the movements. But if we started actually going forward, he'd detect that and he'd be like, "Oh no."
I remember one time Trevor was also explaining Call of Duty gun reloads. And he was like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, he used to do that shit all the time in the back of the class. I'd look back and Trevor would be.
Wait, I remember you telling me one thing about Trevor in German. It was like last year. It's whenever the like heater thing would make the loud noise, it'd be like, doom, and Trevor did something.
Got the
when
General
that happened.
Grievous heater where it'd start going.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't remember what happened, but Trevor did something when that happened. I wasn't there. I just remember vaguely.
I think he
being
said like,
told
"Oh,
about
it's revving up" or something.
something like that. I'm sure.
Maybe.
I remember
Probably
once
laugh.
one of
Me
us
being dumb and thinking it was funny.
one of the things he did, like, I don't know if it was him. It was one of the fucking German 3 kids. Went over and slapped it real hard, and it stopped making that noise. And here G was pretty impressed. He's like, "Wow!" And then like 2 minutes later, it
Then
went
we
back
have
to
get
its
a
old
guy in for
antics.
that.
I remember one time. Remember that one time in German 4, this guy came and he tried fixing the door. And he broke it even
Yeah,
more.
dude, it
He
was
just
like
comes by, just bang! Door shuts, he starts fixing it, and then he's like, "No, can't fix." And then he just leaves.
Yeah, like his handle wasn't working, and he starts messing around with the fucking hinges to like re-level the door. And,
be that
like,
hard.
the bottom hinge falls out, and he's like, I fixed it," and then he just walks away.
As good as new.
But he's-
Don't felony.
G was there too, and he
Yeah.
was dumbfounded.
He was like, after the guy left, he like sat down in his chair and he's like, he broke my door more and left. And
Did he actually say
I
that?
almost something similar, yeah. And I almost broke down in tears from laughing. It was amazing. Oh God, that's a good one. I didn't remember that. Thank you, Alex.
I don't know why. I just
That
remembered
made
that. That was
continuing
funny.
living worth it for a little bit longer.
That's like another couple months right
Yeah.
there.
Nice.
At least a few more minutes.
Oof, went from months to minutes. Our final minute, Neil dies.
Yeah, if we ever like wrap the hour thing up in like 50 years, we got to do.
I'm gonna
be the last
69
hour.
in 50 years.
Nice.
Dang.
Yeah, we'll call it the
So
last
you-
hour.
Our final hour.
Yeah,
The hour. That was lame.
the flower.
I said the finhour.
I know. I did my own thing though.
Oh.
I'm an independent human being.
I thought you were trying to copy.
What was hour in Latin? Was it hora?
Get it? Fin hour. 'Cause it's like fin is the end. So
Mm,
finhour. Yeah, I was using creativity behind mine.
Man, we really gotta get to work on that all German version of our hour.
Good
I
luck,
think we
boys.
have to
I can't
write a
help you there.
script somehow. like script half of it.
Give me small things to say.
Yeah.
No. We gotta find like a third dude for that.
verstehst doch nicht, bitte wiederholen.
Yeah, it's like you just hear the mic go silent for a few minutes in it, and then when it comes back on, Max like repeats what sounds like a very rehearsed German sentence, and then we go back to talking normally. Oh, I wish I could actually uphold like a full conversation in German. Like I can do like the basic stuff and maybe a little bit of
That's how I
conversation.
feel in Spanish. I can just have conversation, but it's not like interesting conversation.
Yeah.
I
Like
wish I could speak.
yeah.
That'd be neat. We could do a podcast or something.
Yeah. Too bad my brain is dumb and dead inside. Just
And we just speak through
head empty, no
telepathy.
thoughts.
That'd be cool.
That'd be pretty neat, actually. Yeah.
What would you say? I wasn't
Stealth would
listening?
be on a whole new level.
So are you gonna tell some Soren stories? You got like 15 minutes.
Oh, let's think of a good one. We used to play Capture the Flag a lot. Do you remember that?
Kind of. I think that was like a long time
We'd, like,
ago. That was,
split it up, though.
elementary
Yeah.
kind of times.
We'd split it up. So Soren had a really big house, so we'd do like backyard, front yard, or like second floor or basement, just stuff like that, depending on the weather. And they got pretty competitive from what I remember. It's like, I think this was
Remember the
more in
games
middle school.
We used to play like tag too, and those were
Yeah. See, I remember, I haven't told anybody this. We played tag one time, and it was fucking winter. We were outside for some reason, and I went to tag somebody, but I missed. And all my force was just put into that, like, boom, like,
You were about to
downward
slap their
strike.
shit. They were about to be tagged like
Yeah.
permanently with a bruise.
So I wasn't looking where I was
You're
going.
in forever.
No, but I wasn't looking where I was going. So I was just a big ice chunk I just ran straight onto and like just like shoulder first and kind of slid a little bit.
I
You were just
really.
gonna tag this kid. You were gonna fuck him.
But nobody
Holy
saw
crap.
it, so I was like, "Oh, I'm chilling. I don't look like an idiot."
Yeah. Oh man, the other day, which could have been any time from yesterday
That
to
was
15 years ago.
Best phrase.
But like, no, this was like a week or two ago. It was like icy out at the college campus, and
Mhm.
they have that little path that kind of leads from sort of
I know what you mean.
Adams to like the bookstore.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes through the middle, and it's a weird little path. But there was just one patch of ice they didn't get, and I was like, and I turned over to Nathan, who I was walking. I was like, Nathan, this is gonna be the end of me. There's no way I'm gonna survive getting across this ice patch, but I'm gonna try. And I start walking across, and I almost do the perfect fucking splits as one leg kicks back, the other kicks forward, and I save it and pull up, so it looks like I just did like a downward
You're a
Mario
gymnast.
jump, just like whoomp, and then like back up on the other side, and I was like, oh god, oh god.
The time is now.
You did a dance move there, bro.
I did. God, I really actually
Let's
used
go.
to enjoy sledding at Brickyard.
I love sledding. So my grandma, I've said this, she lives on a farm, so there's lots of hills and stuff. Bro, one time, It was me and my little cousin Easton. He's a 4th grader now, so he would probably been like a 2nd grader or whatever. But there's basically this huge like sloped in area that's just super downhill, and we cleared it all out. And about halfway through, there's just like a little drop off, so it like will shoot you straight out if you're going fast enough. And I was doing it with him, and then I was like, "Hey, you want to try it on your own, dude?" And I think he would have been fine if he just went on his own, but I kind of pushed him to start, to like give him enough speed, because he's light. I didn't know if he'd go fast enough and enjoy it. So I like shoved him down, and he's going for about like 5 yards, and then he just hits that bump. The sled goes one way, he goes the other. He starts rolling down the rest of it, and I'm like, "Are you good, E?" He's like, "Yeah." He didn't do anything the rest of the day.
Nah, so when I was a little smaller and Louis wasn't such a fat bastard of a dog, bless him.
Oh, I know Louis.
Yeah, he's a thick boy
the dog,
nowadays.
Yeah.
He's a thick boy nowadays, but he used to be a fit younger dog.
How old is he?
And oh god, I don't know.
Old?
Not too old, not near as old as Sammy.
Middle aged? Nobody's as old as Sammy.
Sammy
but he used to have a pole
to see the
harness
Earth create
because my
It's like, I guess
sister's old boyfriend used to actually use him as sort of like a skating dog. Like he'd use.
Oh, really?
So he'd go on walks with him, but he'd have his skateboard, so
That'd be-
Louis could just run.
That's cool.
But since he had that, I figured he could pull me on a sled. And so we went out by the train tracks over there, and sure enough, that dog just pulled me around on a sled. That was always a good time. Yeah. I always thought if I were to get a dog, I'd get like a couple of decent sized dogs and actually have like my 2 sled dogs.
Just that Sammy was pretty old. How old is he?
Like 11 or 12.
Bro. So I work at the animal clinic, and we had a dog come in the other day, bro. Dog was 16 years old.
Yeah.
I ain't never heard of a dog living that long.
That's actually like not average lifespan, but it's not actually
above average.
It's well, no, I'm saying for like Sammy, it's like slightly above average for
Yeah.
like a smaller dogs actually live.
It was a
longer for
smaller
some
dog.
reason.
Yeah. Bro, big dogs only live to be like 10 to 14 or
They
something
got
like
those
that.
big organs that fail faster.
They're just like
Yeah.
humans. Woo, but we live to be like...
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that on like a genetic level. Why
Yeah.
it's like dog live this short amount of time, human live all this time.
Yeah. My mom, she knows there's this guy, so at her work, he helps like lift stuff. I would like you to guess how old he is. Just one guess. 70?
Yeah.
Just throw a number out there.
852.
Close.
Okay.
He is 94.
Oh
But
damn!
he's
Between
like-
us.
But the average of those two numbers.
Yeah,
Easy.
easy.
No, but he's like, I think he's like maybe 6'3" or something. And like, he jogs and like works out and stuff. It's like, I'm very sure he could pass off to be like 70. But he's 94. That's insane. I hope I'm like that healthy when I'm 94, bro. I don't want to be
I'm 94.
in a
I'm
home.
just dead.
I don't ever want to be in a home. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather just die.
I'd be
at
like,
that point.
just put me
Yeah.
down, take me behind the shed.
Give me a nice view of my fields and let me die.
Just let me see
I am a
my
Nebraska
big anime
boy.
titty girl. Damn, they
Just
saggy.
hawk me into the plat.
just like Luke taking it with the sunset. I just want a sunset and let me die.
Taking it with the sunset.
Let me die.
Look at the sunset, baby.
Oh no.
No, I just
You'll
want to.
never know.
I just want to
Yeah.
die like that, and then I don't want to be buried when I'm dead. I want to be
Shot out
turned
of a fucking
into
cannon
ashes or
into
something
his face.
cool. Yeah, my whole corpse just shot out of a cannon into a lake. I want a Viking funeral. That's what I want.
Turn me
That'd be
into
pretty
ash.
neat. I think that's the way
I
I'd
think
like
they're
to.
illegal, but I would like them.
Well,
to somehow
why would
do
they
it.
even be illegal?
I don't know. It's a
They
way
can't.
of.
They actually. I don't know if they can be illegal because
I think it is.
America can't do preferenced religion. So if I
Yeah,
say
it's
that I
true.
actually follow
Norse.
like the Norse religion, like the old Norse gods and stuff, and then that's
You
my
know how
preferred
cool a
right of
Viking
burial.
funeral would be, bro? You get all your friends out there and your family.
They
and
put
just
all your valuables on there and they start
Yeah.
shooting flaming arrows at
That'd
you.
be
Sounds like
cool.
a good time.
Like, you're dead. It's cool for you, too. You're not feeling anything.
Yeah.
You just know you're looking like a champ.
yeah.
And that's the last time anybody's going to see you.
is looking like a
fire
champ.
in a lake, looking like an awesome human being.
Yeah, I think the Vikings were doing it right.
I think that's how every funeral should be, unless you're garbage.
Yeah.
Then you should not. Then you should get like gas chamber. No.
Oh!
That's a whole different thing.
I was gonna say that.
Why would you-
Into ash,
I'm
and then I want
joking.
to be like,
Spread.
yeah, spread on like the ground of my arch nemesis, so that he always
Put me in their
remembers me.
cat box.
Like I want, yeah. I want like somebody to go into this guy's house, sprinkle me all over his food, all over his shit, and he's gonna eat me every day. Eat my ass, bitch. Suck it. That's how I want to die. Burn me and then make me get eaten by some
That's up to your wife or kids to do that.
big anime titty baby. Let's do this.
No, you just gotta like.
Gonna use that
You gotta
master
have it in your
ball.
will that you got like $10,000 set aside
Yeah.
specifically to hire someone, like an agent, to do this. So he just like breaks into their house, sneaks in, puts a little in the sugar jar, puts a little on the frying pan.
No, they have to do it every day. They have to spread me until this man dies.
They have to spread you like butter.
Yeah. It's just like sprinkle by sprinkle, not
Yeah.
even like two,
Yeah.
just one
Yeah.
little grain every day.
How's my ass today, bitch?
You'll be eating that for 2 more months before we get to a different part.
Yeah. My ass was thick, bitch.
Oh God, we are fucked human beings, bud.
That's fine.
Yeah.
If you're not weird, then you're weird.
Yeah. Thank you, Max.
I was stretching. You see this? Does this pose look normal to you?
That sound.
My
is
hand
the,
is down
like,
here.
The sound of when you nut, but she keeps sucking.
Okay, Max, I'm gonna be honest. If we ever get an apartment together and I hear that noise come from your room, I'm gonna like defenestrate immediately.
I would love to get an apartment together. That'd be great. Just so you have to hear all the noises I make.
Just like
I'm like
sitting in the
70-year-old
kitchen
man.
having like some dinner. I just hear, ooh, and I just jump out the fucking window. Defenestration, instantation.
That's a
what
good
if you
word.
hear that sound and then like a dog walks out of his room?
Oh God, double
would never.
defenestrate.
Taking the
Throw
dog,
the dog
with
out
me.
and then he...
Pile driver after it. Come here, lassie.
The people's elbow! You're just dropping out the window like this until you land.
Neil's dying pose
It's like
is
a
just
skyscraper, so I'm falling for like a solid 2
That's
minutes.
how
Neil's
it'd be
just
like in those old video games when you do attacks that are like
Yeah.
slam attacks. They
You're
like go
formed.
into the pose and then you start falling in the pose and
you
then
get
land.
stiff.
And then the animation changes when you land.
Yeah.
That's Mario is butt bomb. Just does a flip and boom.
God damn, boys, we've almost successfully hit. our
Have
hour.
we really?
Yeah, it's 57
I haven't looked at
right
the
now.
time at all.
I've looked at it a couple times.
Oh man.
It was going slow right up until we did something, and then it went real fast.
Yeah, whatever that was.
At about 20 minutes, I was like, man, this is going to take forever, and now it's done. Jeez, anyone
Going
last
slow
story?
Until it went fast.
Any
Yeah.
one last story?
Like the story that I was trying to tell at the beginning of the podcast before I was just caught by my own.
This is
spam.
good. This is
Sure.
a callback. This is a good full circle
good,
thing.
yeah,
I was
good.
going to Soren's house, not saying where it is. And
I'll put the address in the description, guys.
well, yeah, he's moving, but I guess
I
it
don't
doesn't
think
matter
anybody's
then.
gonna care enough.
Yeah. So we go inside the store because his dad asked us to pick something up to go with the meal. And Soren, this part's a little funny, but it's not the meat and potatoes. He just buys a pineapple. He just gets pineapple.
Pina. I love pineapple.
And then he grabs a Reese's for himself as we leave. And we go to pay, and it's like $3, and he pays with a 20, and then he gets like 17 back. And Soren's like counting it while she's counting it. And Soren's face turns like red, and he starts chuckling. And we walk away. I'm like, what? And he's like, she gave me 10 ones and a 10. And I was like watching her counting it while he was counting,
Idiot.
while she was counting. And she like added the change, like added how much it cost. And she was like counting back change. That's all she was doing.
Yeah.
And so we walked into the car, and he's like, the art of the deal. I explained to him that
Soren just made a profit
he
off
got
of
the
that.
same money he was supposed to get, and
Yeah.
he didn't get more than he was supposed to.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, watch this.
Soren
And we
thinks
get in the car, And he pulls out all the change he got, and he counts 7 ones and a 10. He's like, no, this can't be right. I look at him, I'm like, the art of the deal.
Why did he think that he was...
Soren's...
He got lost in his own head.
Soren's brain is both ginormous and incredibly small at the same time. It's like
super narrow at
Schrodinger's big brain. It's in a state of hyper intelligent and dumber and all hell until you like discover and collapse the wave function.
That's
where we're all at.
His brain is so big. He's got an opening in his skull that it comes out and has to lay in like a bath to cool off, but it's like overheating all the time.
You just start hearing
as the fan on his forehead kicks into high gear. Jesus, he's got like 7 Core i9s in there.
He should invest in water cooling for that brain, bro. Not use a fan for it. All that, just a fan.
It's not enough.
I think we didn't.
Was there anything that happened that we need to go overtime for?
I don't think so. That's what I was about to ask. I think we did pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So I wager we'll end it off then.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to.
Wow,
sign off.
This has been Alex. See you guys.
This has been Max. Deuces.
Deuces?
I think I've said something different every time.
That's hot.
I'm trying to keep it up.
Yeah, keep it up.
You're gonna have to start using like other languages.
And I've
so
been your host, Neil, and this has been Our Hour. God damn it.